Tamika, and today is day 1 of 12 days of Christmas. So I decided to join in the fun this year and do 12 days of videos leading up to Christmas, along with Bandit Wendy, Losing It with Rebecca, and Sky Moon 1982. So joining in with Bex, as I call her, that's my nickname for her, Wendy and Mel. So today is my first day. What I thought about I wanted to talk about today was, and a couple days ago when I decided to do it, and I mentioned it in Facebook, that would probably have been yesterday, not a couple days ago. One of the things that I asked was, what is it that you want me to talk about, or what are some of the topics that you'd like for me to cover? And one of the first things that popped up was my approach to food and beverage. So let me start off by saying I have been cooking, and for all my family and friends, they've heard this story over and over again, I'm sure, because every opportunity I get to tell it, I do. I have been cooking since I was 4. So 4 years old, my great-grandparents, San Angelo, Texas, my mother's parents put a step stool in front of the stove, and I made silver dollar pancakes. And I don't recall stopping cooking since that point. So I was always, in the kitchen with them, and, I just grew up in several different households, no matter which way I went, whether it was my mother's side, my father's side, or, my mother's side, or my mother's dad's side. Everybody was always cookers. So I grew up around people who like to be in the kitchen cooking. And so I would always be right there along with them, either chopping up something or off in the corner trying to come up with my own very special recipe for myself. Either way, I was always in the kitchen cooking. And so I don't have any fear as far as make the kitchen something out of nothing, pretty much. You give me a couple things and I can just go at it. I think one of my fears initially when I was first contemplating weight loss surgery was, I don't want to be sitting around eating lettuce and carrots and rice cakes for the rest of my life. Needless to say, I was naive because right now, today, I don't eat lettuce and raw carrots and rice cakes anyway. So, even, I would have never been in a position to eat that as a LapBander anyway. But I was really concerned about not being in a place where my food was boring, because I had come from a place of, number 1, loving to cook, and number 2, loving to go out and find, the latest and greatest and best restaurant. And I'm very open to different types of food, different cultures, playing around with different ingredients and stuff like that. I'm very open to that. I don't like boring food. And so coming into this journey, what I had to realize very early on was I might not be able to eat the same things that I ate preoperatively when I was 288 pounds. But I can make things now on the other side of this that are healthy, that are good for me, that line up with my lap band rules, and are tasty. So tasty is very important for me. And so at some point, I think maybe I started making videos and I was calling them remixes. Maybe when I was about 4 months out, I think is when I started making sort of these cooking videos on my channel. And I did that for a couple different reasons, for myself as well as for other people, because I would share what I was eating from time to time, and people would go, well, how did you make that? How did you come up with that? And stuff like that. So that's the reason why I started making those videos. The reason why I share a lot of what I eat on Facebook, and the reason why I have www.tamikaskitchen.com. And it is because I like cooking and I like sharing. And I like being able to take the ease off of maybe some of those same type of fears that I had preoperatively about food being lame on the other side of surgery. It doesn't have to be. So let me give you a couple tips. One of them is make sure that you always stock your kitchen with things that you can eat and things that you enjoy eating. It's just straight off the bat. If you like eating chicken, make sure you have chicken in your house at all times. If you know that sometimes you're short on time, not only would you maybe have frozen chicken, but get some canned chicken. And so you can throw together some salads, throw it on top of some spinach, and do different things like that. And the second thing is make sure that you have various types of low-calorie sauces or hot sauce. I like hot sauce. I know that there's some controversy about whether or not we should be eating a lot of spicy stuff as LapBanders. I like spicy. So, and hot sauce doesn't, there's some hot sauces out there that don't have any calories, and there's some that have very, very few. So sauces in the sense of, maybe even, down the lane of condiments that are low calorie. So I also like stone ground mustard. I have that in my kitchen and use that a lot. Different types of maybe, I like from Trader Joe's the masala simmering sauce. They have various different curries and things like that are bottled. All of that stuff will help bring your food to life if you don't necessarily know how to do it from scratch. The third thing that I would say is make sure that you spend some time walking around the bulk section. So I have like Winco's in my area, but I know a lot of grocery stores have bulk sections, and a lot of them have the seasonings that you can buy. You just put a little bit in bags and take that home. So you're not needing to spend a lot of money on maybe a bottle of cardamom if you just want to put a pinch of it in something. So you can experiment and end up having lots of different types of spices in your house if you get them from the bulk sections like that. It's cheaper. Google, look on different websites, look, in cookbooks and things like that. And I don't want to be like against books and stuff like that these days, but a lot of times we don't, in this day and age, we don't necessarily need to invest in buying cookbooks. You can find tons and tons of cooking blogs, just all sorts of things online. And just about every sort of like craft foods. I mean, you go click on that and say, I have a jar of blop, what can I make with it? And look in their recipe section and you find tons of recipes. I like allrecipes.com, one of my favorites, been on there for years and years and years and years. I can always find stuff there. Google, just do a plain, simple Google search. Like tonight I cooked curry chicken with potatoes and veggies and stuff like that. I mean, I know I cook curry chicken at this point, but if I didn't and I wanted to experiment and try to cook curry chicken, just go Google curry chicken, and I promise you'll have more recipes than you can handle. My last ultimate tip about cooking is don't be afraid of the kitchen. At some point I think I was going to write an ebook, and it was going to say something like, the title was going to be like, Fear Not the Kitchen, or Don't Be Afraid of the Kitchen, or something like that, because like some friends that I have that don't necessarily cook all that much, when I'm talking to them about cooking, I can tell and I can hear in their voice that it's just like so much fear associated with it. That it becomes sort of like this roadblock, and it's just like, I can't cook. Like, anybody can cook. It's not anything that you necessarily have to be taught to do. Just go in the kitchen, mix a couple things around. Like I said, get you a starting point, and then just go. And if it doesn't turn out right the first time, keep trying. Be on the safe side. Bake stuff, boil stuff, that kind of stuff. You can't really necessarily go wrong. Make sure you have lots of liquids with it and stuff like that. I don't think I'm going to talk about beverage because I wanted this to be short. I want these videos for the next 12 days to be at about 10 minutes. And that's it. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Don't be afraid of the kitchen. And my blog, I think the subtitle is letting my imagination run wild in my kitchen. That's all you have to do. Have fun and eat good things that are full of flavor and low in calorie, low in fat. All right? Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.